Hey guys, I'm making a video on the gloves. If you're working in a cold environment, what do I recommend for gloves? Um, so I have tried multiple different gloves. One of the gloves I like, I don't have it with me. It is back at home, California, um, or my parents' home, since I don't live there anymore. But these are the recommendations I'll make as far as for gloves. So I'm going to show first off what is generically what they're going to most places are probably going to give you in general. This is what most stores, retail, grocery will give you, and they're just free cheap gloves, and they're not bad. They are going to keep your hands warm, but they're not going to keep it super warm, say like you're working in frozen. If you are sensitive to cold, this is not going to be the best solution. The other thing is these are generic gloves, and they don't fit everybody's hand size because everybody has different hand sizes. So Uline is the brand that most places have. Pretty generic brand. They do a lot of retail grocery kind of just tools and really just a bunch of different products for mass majority of companies in grocery and retail. If not, it's going to be very similar to this. So this is what it looks like. As you can see, these get worn out very easily. You can get holes, then you go and you get another one. It's cheap material. It is what it is. I don't have a problem using these until they get worn out. And as you can see, the grip parts, they just come right off. Especially if you're opening boxes. And most of the time, if you're opening boxes, you want to have gloves. And you want some good gloves. What I recommend, if you're not in a cold environment and you want some good gloves, is just get a mechanic glove or a heavy duty glove like these. This is what I'm currently using right now because I'm not having to be in the cold. And these work well, and they're also I wanted them to be thin so I can still work on facing and whatnot and stocking items from the back and rotating that. That's why I'm using these. They're pretty good. But as far as are they special or anything? No. Pretty generic. You can get it at any hardware store or online. And usually they're pretty inexpensive. Next one, and this is going into freezer territory. So if you're working in frozen, or you're working in a freezer, cold elements, I highly, highly recommend these. Hex Armor Rig Lizard. These are great. It is fantastic. They're very, very thick. I never have my hands feeling cold with these. It isn't, one thing that I have a problem with, it's not completely water resistant. But it does a pretty decent job of it. Besides that, it's got this material on the outside, so even if you bang your hand or bang your finger, it's not going to hurt, and that typically will happen if your hands start to get cold and you bang something, it's going to hurt. This does a really good job. I like it. It's thinner than, I'm going to show the other gloves, which are full-on frozen freezer work gloves. These have much better dexterity. And that's one of the things that I find that is frustrating if you're trying to find frozen gloves is do they have good dexterity? There was another one, which is by the same brand that I'm going to show for this next one, which is for Frigidaire again. Frigidaire has a wonderful amount of array of work clothes, gloves, that shoes, boots, that kind of stuff online, and it's all meant for like cold, frozen climates. And even drivers in cold areas that are driving trucks, they use this line a lot too. And this one's great. It actually will go underneath your jacket, and it keeps your whole hand and part of your arm, well, over your jacket arms, and it does a very good job. The problem is once again, dexterity is very, very limited. And the other one, which was a black pair that I had, it was much thinner. It kept my fingers relatively warm. It is better than getting something like those. And it was better with dexterity. This one does not have great dexterity. Now, if you're moving boxes, that kind of stuff, this will probably work for you. But most of the time, for most jobs, for most people, if you're not moving boxes in a freezer, you probably don't want to use this. Especially if you have to use like an electric jack, a manual jack, or a pit machine. It's going to be incredibly hard, if not impossible, to drive those things with this. This one will actually work for those kinds of machines, actually. So, yeah, those are my recommendations on that. So, yeah, and I mean, Uline, they do a bunch of different things. This is another item from Uline, which is these tags, which you'll find most likely at the store that you work at. And these, you basically are able to peel these off like that, and that's if the product there that you're supposed to hang gets ripped, you can put this back on or put this on the product, and then you're able to hook it onto the display unit. So Uline makes a lot of different products like that, so that's a good company that most places are going to actually have, because they can buy it in the mass quantity for a very cheap price, relatively. So, anyways, hope this helps you guys if you're looking for gloves, what kind of gloves to get, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.